Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. We are back again with yet another episode of Aslase Podcast. We are going to be having variety of topics. To be honest, today, let's see how it goes. And we are here with Mr. Suhaib. Suhaib, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing pretty good by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I was just thinking about how to start today's podcast.
Yeah.
So I was thinking they must be curious about the name Aslase. So let's begin with a little bit of that. So just to give you the understanding of the name Aslase. Aslase is basically derived from the Arabic words and it means to make things easy. So, as you have already witnessed in our past podcasts, we are trying our best to make things simpler for you to understand, as simple as possible, so that you can understand and enlighten yourself. You can choose and make decisions in this new paradigm that we are moving in right now. So this is why we call this Aslase or Aslase, or some people call it Aslas. We call it Aslase.
I mean, to be honest, guys, you guys don't have to really stress about the word and the pronunciation because at this company, if you meet five people, all five of them are going to pronounce the name of the company in a different way. Some of them are going to be Aslase, some of them are going to be Aslase. I am Team Aslase. Suhaib is Team Aslase. So it's like that. So we have an internal battle as well, what to actually call it, how to actually pronounce it. So as he explained, it is to make things easier. We are trying to make things easier for in different domains and different fields. Suhaib, so what's new? I mean, what's new with you? What's up with you? Then we can move on to some boring stuff as usual.
A lot has happened since we last met,
Okay.
and I like to share a few things. One of the things that we came across when I was, in fact, you were there as well. We were talking with one of our friends, and we came across this challenge that everyone is facing, but nobody really talks about when it has to do with automation. So we are really good in automation. We all are, and thanks to AI, it has gotten really faster as well. But the real challenge is people challenges, real people challenges. Like the two people working together, they don't like each other. The two people trying to get along on work. How can AI help us in that domain? That was a question. Even though we have systems, we have analytical testings, we have personality psychometric testings to get the right traits, to gauge the right traits in the person, so that we can place them in the right teams and we can have a very healthy culture. So we can choose people who are more close to our company culture. So, but that does not really work all the time because humans have a tendency to pretend to in any way they want to, right? So it's not very easy to always check that whether you're hiring the right culture fit candidate or not. There's another aspect which is about data updates. You have a system. So this was basically, we started with the problem that who is going to keep on updating the data, because AI needs data to perform well.
Yeah.
When data is outdated and nobody is using the system on a daily basis, they're just using the system before the audit so that they can feed in all the past data and okay to go with the auditors when they come in. So that doesn't work. I mean, that's just just call it window dressing in accounting terminology, where you brush up things for the spreads, for the balance sheets, for the accountants, for the auditors. But for the real impact in the business, you need to use that system on a regular basis. And what makes that possible? So we were discussing a couple of options that can help. So we will leave that to you to put that in comments as well. So we'll talk more into this topic in our next podcast. Waiting for your comments, and let's see we can pick up something from the comments and then we can talk about it.
So Heb, you mentioned something about like compatibility. Like AI could do the analysis, the personality test, and everything. All those assessments, AI could do those. But I think at the end of the day, we would need, at least in a foreseeable future, we would need a human judgment right there to put right people together in a team, so they don't have a personality clash, they don't have any sort of clash,
Yeah,
right? Because we need to put together a good team for them to perform well. If they are personality wise they're not getting along, they are very opposite sort of people, they are very opposite people and they are working together and they're not getting along, I think it's very hard for them to perform very well.
that's true. That's
In
true.
order for anybody to perform very well, they need to have a very positive environment. So I think in foreseeable future, like the human judgment will always be necessary in this scenario, in this particular scenario.
Yeah, it will always be. Machines can never really replace, because again, we cannot even allow that to happen, because even if that's possible, because as we talked in our earlier podcast, this planet is for us, right? We are the primary inhabitants of this planet, and so are other biological. I mean, it's a complete ecosystem, right? But we are at the top of this food chain. So, and we don't want somebody else to, or some other species. If this turns out to be another species, like if we're talking about robots, right?
Yeah.
It's like we've seen movies in 90s and 2000s, like machines are taking over. So like that's kind of something which they gain consciousness and then they figure it. And I was reading a really interesting article the other day. In fact, it was something which people did. They designed AI agents in a way that and they made them talk to each other. So, and then those AI agents came up with their own religion. They came up with their economics and everything. They started talking about their rights and everything. And I also found a website. It was like hire a human, and over there AI is basically hiring humans to perform jobs that they cannot do. So like people are even thinking in that layer as well. So imagine AI talking to each other, different AI agents talking to that happens, but in a very controlled environment. Imagine if that goes out of the bubble and it's just the imagination of different group of people who are trying to simulate what will happen if this happens.
Do you think there is the possibility of this happening? Like
Synthetically, yes, and that's going to be really dangerous, because human history is full of wars, right? And any major change that has come about is through wars, right? And they're learning through us. They're learning our from our data, from our history, right? So they don't have any other data that they can learn from. When they open, they don't.
I mean, I think the right term should be they're not learning. It's like they are being taught. They cannot learn by themselves. Like it's the humans who are training them. It's the humans who are programming them. It's
That's
still
true.
the humans who are teaching these LLMs and all those AIs out there. All the big companies. There are human minds behind those things.
That's
I mean,
true.
there is a very famous and widely quoted a quote that usually they they sort of associate with IBM or something. Like it says, a computer can never be held accountable. Therefore, a computer must never make a management decision.
Exactly. But there are some experiments going on. There are many types of people on this planet, and there are some people who want to use AI responsibly. We just came across an act in AI Act, in EU AI Act, where they have restricted the use of AI, and AI cannot make judgments. AI cannot make decisions. Only humans can, and that is the right way of using AI. China, we mentioned, they have come
Yeah.
up with a regulation. In US, they are talking about universal pay for every. And then, if they're talking about that, that is very risky. I mean, they're going a step next. I mean, a level above. So EU is restricting. They have AI laws, right? US is talking about universal pay, which means that they will let AI make decisions,
Mm-hmm.
and that is where things can get out of control, because they will pioneer this,
Mm-hmm.
and then obviously other people will follow. There is a mainstream, and then there is always a black market. There's always a minority who likes to go on a opposite direction.
I mean, I am still one of those people who believes it's not gonna go that far anytime soon. And if it were to go that far, all these regulations, all these acts to restrict AI, they are just sham, right? They are just like to make people, all right, guys, we are doing something for you. I'm one of I'm from team those people, right, who are still a bit conservative about the AI's impact in future. I mean, obviously, I believe like it has had made a lot of progress. It has had made huge impact on the global market itself. Look at Nvidia's market cap now. It's now has gone to $5.56 trillion. I think that is more than any other country except US and China's GDP. Can you believe it? It's Nvidia, and they have had this boom after the AI thing. Not before not before that. It's after that. So the potential is a lot.
Potential is really, really, really great.
It's a lot.
It makes you think faster. It makes you think faster. I mean, it helps you in analysis. You are the one who pull the trigger, but it helps you gather the data.
But I think when we start using it like way too much, right? Like for even the basic things, like for example, there was a time when in order for you to search something, right? In order for you to find out something, you would have to do few steps. It would still take some thinking on our part. Right now, it has reduced that. I mean, it has removed that, not reduced that, removed that. What we are doing it, we are simply giving a prompt to ChatGPT or whatever the AI thing we are using, and it just like boom gives us the information. So yeah, it's like that. But anyway, what I'm interested to know is what is it that you are working on that making an impact?
Right now, AI in practical terms is making an impact in operations, in making operations efficient.
Mhm.
And the very common use case that everybody is implementing is customer service.
Mhm.
So you have a chatbot. It's very common now. You have a chatbot, AI chatbot on your website,
Mhm.
AI bot on your call centers. So you would like to book a reservation at a restaurant. You would like to book your time with a barber or anything, and you have a very simple chatbot, either voice or text, available on the browser. You can interact, and it will respond to you based on the data that you have provided. And it wouldn't really make much of a difference for the clients, because they're getting a swift reply. Or when there's a human on the other side, it may take a while. It
Yeah.
will, maybe he's busy with some other chat, and then he will be able to respond as soon as he's available. He's done with the other chat. But AI can do that chat with multiple customers at the same time,
Yeah.
and even receive calls and answer calls, and be very fluent in whichever language that you want the chatbot to be fluent in. So like, I'm calling in, hello. If I talk in Urdu, the chatbot can interact with me in Urdu. If I'm talking in Chinese, the chatbot will be
Interacting in
yeah,
Chinese.
interacting with me in Chinese. So in English. So it's very easy. It's just about now um investment. How much businesses would like to invest in this technology, and what is the outcome that they are likely to get? Because now there is a difference in users and companies who are adapting to this technology geographically. In the US and in the EU, people are moving faster, and they're more you know they're more positive about it. In the in Asia, in third world countries, it's not very practical right now, because the investment is little more, because you have an AI, you have AI, you have to bear AI costs. tokens are being consumed, and it depends on your revenue model as well. How much are you charging, and how are you going to model in that cost in the in the price. So when it even comes to the European markets and US markets, the prices are very decent over there. Like for businesses to make a profit, and they can reduce the maybe they can build in that cost in the same package. Maybe they may be earning less profit in that single call and maybe from that single client, but the volume will increase. If your service is available, if the chatbot is responsive, if the AI agent is responsive whenever the customer is calling. So we have a solution. We have been working for a similar solution, and it's out there in the market, and it's getting some really good response from from the European and US markets, but not so much from you can say Indian or you can say Pakistani market or East African market. Dubai is a good market, but Dubai they have another challenge, which is they don't really allow chatbots, which is hosted somewhere else. So they have people have tried to come up with their own local LLMs, but then there are other regulations, other technical barriers right now, which is at the moment making it a little difficult to implement that in that market. When it comes to 3D avatars or voice agents, a simple chatbot is it's pretty much common. It's doable, but the Eastern market, which is basically Japan, they're far ahead. They're doing really good. Japan, China. China has made really good progress. I think overall in every domain, but especially in AI.
Yeah, like I don't know, like if you know this or not. Like there is this guy called Aisho Speed. I mean he's a teenage. What he does is he makes YouTube videos. He goes to different countries and do the live stream. So I watched his live stream when he was in China, and I was actually extremely shocked, like how, as compared to different countries, maybe the US and European countries and the UK, how advanced they are when it comes to using robots, automating things. Like you would see everywhere in the restaurants, right? In the malls, you will see small robots like here and there, and they are extremely good robots, and they are making a lot of advancement in different fields as well, not only in the robot, not only in AI related stuff, but in different fields as well. So I was actually very shocked, and since then, like, China is one of the places that I would want to visit. Definitely, it's very beautiful as well, but I want to see those things with my own eyes. I want to see how those things work. I want to see, like, what a typical day looks like in that kind of environment, where you see, like, you walk into a restaurant and you are
Yeah.
interacting with a robot, not a human.
China. I've got a few friends from China. Some of them are my neighbors as well.
Mhm.
So like I was talking to them. They and I was very curious about why did they leave China.
Yeah.
So this is something like apart from what we were talking about, but this since you brought this up, how China is so advanced and developed, and like most people in China, they are, as per my friend, they're not that happy. I mean, they are working all the time. It's not easier to survive over there because there's a lot of competition over there. They have a very tough competition, and they have a very tough life, uh, and that is why they are prospering, because they are not wasting much time, which is good. But at the same time, they're not having much breaks also. And you should see, I mean, how China has evolved over the past few years. It's been like 30 years since China came out of that bubble they were living in before, and then how they have progressed in every domain, and how I cannot avoid buying any product that is not made in China. I can try my level best. I go to the market. Okay, I want to buy a product which is made in maybe Pakistan, maybe some other country, but no, everything is made in China. So like they have reached that, but that has a big cost. And the people who are living over there, uh, they are working really hard. They're working really hard. And if you go to China, you won't be having a uh, very lavish lifestyle. I mean, they have cities and the tiny, tiny apartments. There are luxury areas now. People are now changing and they're investing in big luxury, residential apartments and resorts as well. But I'm talking about the majority of people who are basically putting in their sweat and blood to run the Chinese economy. So that is one perspective that I personally received from one of my Chinese neighbor.
I mean, interesting. Yeah. I mean, I think I haven't got to meet anybody from China. I mean, I did meet somebody from Taiwan, but he actually wasn't raised in Taiwan. He was raised in Saudi, and he was studying in Turkey. So he wasn't anything, to be honest. Like, he didn't have any culture. Uh, he was ethnically Taiwanese from both mom and dad side, but he was raised in Saudi. So he had so many cultures surrounding him. Like, around him, he had Pakistanis, Indians, Bangladeshis, Sudanese, Saudi, Yemenis, so many people. So he did not really have that culture either. Then he moved to Turkey, and there, like, it had a different culture as well. So I couldn't really, like, I'm yet to meet somebody from China to understand their perspective.
Everyone needs balance. This world needs balance. This world is stable at balance.
Yeah.
And we have there's an ayah in Quran in Surah Balad where Allah Subhanahu wa Taala tells us about how a man, in a way, like he has built man or created man in or humans in struggle. I mean, humans, if you see, and other things that you see, you get this concept. Like when you talk about getting a good grade, you're talking about getting achievement. You need to do some hard work. You need to lose something. You need to sacrifice something to get something, right? You when you see any see how diamond is made, it's crushed.
Yeah.
How plants are grown. See, so when the seed is sown, so it's pitch dark inside, and then it grows and penetrates the soil and then comes up the stem and then it blooms. So everything has to struggle, and I've seen people, and similar is the case when you do exercise. When you exercise, you struggle a lot, right?
Yeah.
You're putting your body in a lot of stress, and then you get a result after some time, and you're really happy about it. But you're not so much happy about it when you're struggling to get that body that you want. And similarly, it's about practice makes perfect. So like everything requires persistence. Everything requires a bit of sacrifice, a bit of pain to get anything in life.
Yeah.
So I think that's the crux of it. So I think we're talking a lot about people today.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of getting a bit, might be a bit too much for the audience or even for me as well in the morning. But one thing I would definitely like to know is, like, about the data centers. We talk about AI, we talk about AI's integration, we talk about having AI in this and that. What about the data centers? What about the water they use? The drinkable water you need to run those AI data centers. How true is that? How much is this exaggeration? Because I recently got to read this article, I think a couple of days ago, in one of the states where they opened data center, a huge data center, the water level has started going down, and the residents of that area, they are now protesting.
Yeah, it does need data centers create a lot of heat, and you need some cooling medium to keep the data centers cool.
Yeah.
Just like your gaming PC, you need that fluid that you put in, and there's a special fluid as well that you place your hardware inside. That doesn't really that's not exactly water, but
Yeah.
it's a fluid that keeps the temperature low. But that is expensive, obviously, and
Yeah.
if they will use that to cool a data center size of a football field, it's going
Yeah.
to be really expensive. So it is expensive. It's a challenge that people are facing, industries are facing. Some people are addressing it in a different way. Some people are taking the data centers out in the nowhere. I mean, where there's no population, so that less people are affected by it. and the resources that they use are not affecting any other community. Their companies were using oceans and to cool down the data centers. So they're putting uh, their in those computers in big cylinders, and they're submerging them in the sea. You must have seen pictures and videos of Microsoft and Google. They're submerging their data centers in the sea, so that it is expensive again, but again it's cheaper than, since water is abundant inside the sea. But then there are other aspects that they need to take care about, like it's a salt water.
I mean, because one thing I got to know is like that you cannot, like I was simply just looking for it, and I searched a bit. Why can't we use salt water to cool down the?
We are using it. They're using it, but I seriously don't know much about the technicalities that why certain type of data centers are being submerged inside the water, inside in oceans and seas, but some are not. And then because as far as I can understand, there are some maintenances required in the data center. So if you're submerging inside the sea, then there is no, or maybe the maintenance is expensive. You have to take it out, open it, and then do the service, and then send it back down. It depends what type of data center, because there are different types of data centers. It's not like there's one type of data center. So like AI data center has those chips, and I think they may require more maintenance, and because of that, they're not submerged inside.
So apparently, data centers use large volumes of potable or high quality water primarily for evaporative cooling to maintain optimal server temperatures.
Yes.
Using clean water reduces mineral deposits because, as you know, the ocean water has a lot of salt in it.
Yeah.
So it is when they are going to use that, so it is going to have a layer on top of it.
And not just that layer. Then we have what do we call that? Little creatures, barnacles.
Okay.
They're basically like small size stone-like creatures, and then they basically stick on anything that they anything metalish.
Okay.
And ships has to go through a thorough cleaning and scrapping when they are docked after uh, you know after a certain number of miles, maybe 1,000 miles, because it increases the weight basically of the ship, and so when the ship sails, it will be burning much more fuel because it gets heavy.
All right, all right. I mean, yeah, there is this report that due to public scrutiny and environmental impact, tech companies are increasingly investing in air cooling and water recycling technologies. I mean, they must come up with a viable solution and not like use.
Imagine human
Yeah.
in Saudi Arabia. They're making one of the largest data centers, and Abu Dhabi as well.
Yeah.
G42. They're also building a very very large data center. So imagine they don't have much water. The only access to water they have in abundance is seawater,
Mhm.
right? So I just wonder how they will be cooling the facility inside the desert when it's 50 degrees Celsius on average. So I just wonder how they will be cooling this.
I mean, yeah, of course they will have to invest a lot, and they don't really have a lot of natural water as well because the water themselves they are using.
They recycle.
Yeah,
It's kind of distilled water,
Yeah.
or
And
desalination. They have
desalination plants. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting thing. I will actually look into it. I'm quite
Yeah,
interested
and
in
it's
these
quite
topics.
fascinating because US is sending. I mean, they have given the permit and exporting a lot of chips to these countries very happily, and they're making this expensive data centers, which is extremely expensive to run. While they know that AI, OpenAI, and other Google and Microsoft, they're all basically facing a lot of
Backlash.
not exactly backlash, challenge basically, and how to earn profit, because they haven't been able to um, you know make this commercially viable, and you will see that the prices will go up, the subscription prices for different tokens that they have, different packages that will go up gradually, because the price is going up. The cost of running the center, and it will be really interesting to see how Abu Dhabi and Saudi Arabia will contain that cost, or they may have some other technology in at play, maybe, I don't know. Since they invest a lot in new things, and they like to try new things, who knows, they will come up with something new to cool the uh, data centers.
Yeah, I will definitely look into it because
I saw that one article again about they invented something like to cool the room temperatures without using electricity, and it runs basically on solar. I'm not exactly the solar panel, but solar energy, like energy from the sun, and then they're using chemicals like urea and everything to uh, cool the
I mean,
environment inside
urea
the.
is being used by the fish farmers to cool down the water. I think
I think they're using the same technology, the same technique,
but
but
I,
they're
I think it like cooling down a room or a fish farm is a very different thing from cooling down a data center,
it
right?
is.
Like you have to be very careful because they cannot use just anything to cool it down. They have to be extra careful because the machinery that is being used inside those data centers, the equipment, it's costly. It's not cheap. They cannot take any risks, and I think I will definitely look into it because in the past few months, like recently, I've really got into the climate and the environmental impact of the new things, because I wasn't, to be honest, a believer in climate change. I was like, it's just a conspiracy theory, right? Nothing is impacting. But then because, as you know, Pakistan has uh, the most glaciers outside of Antarctica. It's a fun fact. Pakistan has the most glaciers in the world after Antarctica, and they are melting rapidly. And that's why in the last couple of years we have had flooding. And I think it was last year, one third of this country was underwater because those glaciers rapidly uh, melting.
Yes, and surprisingly, we are about to go into that same cycle in maybe in a couple of months, when the
Yeah,
rains will start
yeah, the
and
monsoon
the
season is
monsoon
coming
season will
back,
start.
and then the peak summer is coming back. And another fun fact is we do not even emit that much of a carbon. We are down in that list
Yeah,
where the carbon
and
emission
the
is.
amazing part is I worked on a project. I worked on a project back in 2021
Yeah.
with international agency, and we basically used imaging and AI. At that time, AI was not this advanced, but it was uh, still capable of doing a lot of things. So we had a project for one of the African countries, and they used to experience a lot of floods, and then they used AI and imaging from different years, and then they predicted and actually calculated in the next 1 year or 2 years what is going to be the impact. What is going to be the impact? So they wanted to come up with a plan to save people when the flood comes, because it's something you cannot abandon cities, or you cannot shift cities. Okay, this is the flood path now. What should we do? So what they were doing is they were trying to analyze, okay, which streets are flooded, and what is the rate of increase in that in the past 2 3 years. What was the change,
Hmm.
and how it can change in the next 2 years. So that was a very interesting project. And then they made shelters for people who, when the flood comes, uh, they designated few buildings as unsafe, few buildings safe, and then they were basically making plans and they were educating their citizens as well, and they were actually being very precise to what to do, what not to do. Especially they had special programs in schools and universities, what to do. Just like we have drills for earthquakes, right? We have drills for any sort of emergency. So flood is also an emergency, and they used to have flash floods. Flash flood is something which you cannot really predict or foresee.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, this is flood is coming. It's really quick. So AI, if we adopt in our country as well, and in Pakistan as well, it can do wonders. It can save a lot of lives. It can predict which areas will be inundated under in water when the flood will come next year. At what intensity? Just like we had this incident, entire residential complex was underwater.
I mean, to be honest, that residential complex was built on the bank of
That was
river.
that was again something which is municipal or management
Issue.
issue. They
Yeah.
allowed that construction to happen on the riverbank.
Yeah.
But again, if that has happened, there can be measures that can be taken.
Yeah, I mean the point was to what I was trying to say is like I think like AI is making jobs efficient, but like we have to look at efficient ways to build those data centers, to build new technology that does not impact the environment. After all, we are doing all these advancements to make this world a better place, right? This is what they are saying, right? So if the environment is not livable, okay, what are we going to do with all those advancements?
That's true.
So we have
That's
to
true. So like we have to think about, or we have to care about people first, environment first,
environment first,
and think about other things secondary.
yeah, and everybody listening out there, please plant some trees, right? It's going to be beneficial for you and for community as well. So continue, please.
I think we have talked a lot about people today, a bit on a different perspective. We talked about AI as well, and how it can impact our lives, and how if adopted in a rational manner, in a way that it protects human beings. So this is something where we all need to decide how are we planning our future, because it's us who can take action and plan. We are all human beings. If we see that there are organizations out there, they are advancing in AI, but just like any other technology, like nuclear, if you talk about nuclear, that can be used for both human welfare and human destruction both.
Yeah, I mean it's
So
one of the
we
most
have to-
cheap and efficient ways to make energy. Yeah,
But we need to be very responsible about it.
I mean humans tend to be not very
So-
responsible, to be honest.
If you ask people out there in any country, I've worked with a lot of people, and most people in cities, and they have a different type of preference. And people in other places like villages, where there's less infrastructure, and they're more close to rural life and nature, they have different way of thinking. So we need to rationalize what is good for us as a humanity and what is not good for us. Life in cities has become very chaotic, and people are generally very selfish. If you talk about people living in outskirts and villages, they're very different.
Exactly.
They're very caring. They're very caring about the environment as well. They're very caring about their neighbor as well. They will sacrifice their wealth. They will sacrifice their assets for people. While in cities, it's the other way around. Okay, so like I'm talking about like
I mean, don't go that harsh on the
Gen-
city people. We love you as well.
general perception, but still, it's just I'm making this just thinking out loud and making the statement just to see where the direction can go with AI, because people who are in charge of or who have control of this technology are mostly people who live in cities, and they have that kind of mindset. People, because if AI is successful, and if batteries are revolutionized, batteries are something which people are working. So
I mean,
if we have a good battery, if you have a
yeah.
good battery that can run like for 10 years,
Yeah, they
that can
can.
run your car for 10 years
They can.
without charging, then
Without
people
charging.
will not need to live in the cities. They only live in cities because they are basically want facilities nearby, grocery stores, nearby facilities,
I think
hospitals.
it's very far fetched. You are saying like if we have batteries that can run for 10 years without being charged, people will.
I think
A lot of people will move to the outskirts.
we will talk about this in much more detail. I've been reading
Okay,
about this.
yeah. Just
So yeah,
before conclusion, wouldn't that make let's say it's true? Okay, people would move to outskirts. A lot of people would move to outskirts. Wouldn't that make the outskirts yet another city as well?
no, because people, you know what happens now. People escape the city life and go out towards any mountains.
Oh, that's a minority.
That's not a minority.
That is a minority.
The people who cannot go cannot afford.
No, I would still, I can guarantee you, right? Uh, you can go talk to 100 people who've been to the mountains, who've traveled vastly, and if you ask them, would you like to live a life in a city, a livable city, or would you love to live a permanent life in the mountains? Mountains life is very hard.
It is hard
It is
because
extremely difficult.
it is hard because of one thing, energy. Once energy problem is solved, because you need energy to do anything. You need energy to power your car. You need energy to power your heater. You need energy to power your lights. You need energy to power your cooling system. You need energy to run your.
See, this is without those things. That's what makes the mountains, right? If we start moving those things to the mountains, those mountains will be messed up. Imagine we have the cars in the mountains. Imagine we have
We won't
a
have
lot of carbon emission in the
when we
mountains.
have when we're talking about batteries, we're talking about electric cars, and we're not even talking about electric cars. We may be talking about electric or flying cars.
I
So
mean,
so I think
it would still have a huge impact on the environment, on the what do you say the the environment for the animals. There's a specific word I'm forgetting, but anyway.
I also
Yeah,
you're right about it, because I also saw a report by Toyota, and they claim that electric cars make more carbon emissions. So maybe producing electric cars
it's a
makes
produce
yeah.
because it's used lithium. Now they're working on sodium batteries, right? There has been some advancement in China, and some European countries are also working on sodium batteries as well. It is going because sodium is not a rare earth mineral. It's in abundant as compared to lithium. Lithium is coming out of Africa, and it's cruel way. It's extremely cruel how they are extracting the lithium. But anyway, they're working on the sodium batteries, so we can see improvement. We can see the reduction of carbon emission in electric vehicles in the coming years. But again, back to the point. If we start moving to the mountains, a lot of people, like the outsiders, it is going to have a lot of impacts. Not only for the people who are living in the mountains.
There's another program that countries are working on,
Yeah.
using AI, and that is where they will be profiling every citizen.
That's Palantir. That's psychopathic technology.
No, that is not psychopath. That is there to manage the expectations, people's aspirations, and plan the economy. Because
No,
right now
Suhaib,
we are,
this is. What
Okay.
about the privacy? They are going to have.
they're not
They are
they're not.
absolutely going to have everything on you. Like you will have zero autonomy to yourself. Like look at what Palantir is doing. Palantir is doing the similar thing. You know Palantir, right? What they are doing in the U.S. What sort of things they are planning to work on. That is like mass surveillance, but really efficient one with a fancy name.
Yeah. So I think it's time that we wrap up right now.
We wrap it up, and then we get back to the same topic in next episode, because it's very interesting, because it's one of those sides of AI that people are actually scared of. I mean, genuinely, it's a
If
scary
used
thing.
if used in a right manner,
It's not going
it's
to be
beneficial.
Yeah.
If used by some tyrant, it obviously can be
Yeah.
very dangerous.
Let's pack it up, guys. That's it for us today. I mean, today we covered a lot of topics actually, and some scary ones as well, especially to me personally, as I mentioned briefly as well. So thank you for listening, and we cannot wait to have you in our next episode. We will love to continue with this discussion because it's one of those discussions that actually make people worried about the impacts of AI, especially in countries like the US and the UK, because where these things are gaining a lot of attraction, right? These things are getting a lot of approvals by the government. But anyway, thank you very much for listening. This is your host Abdullah, and with me, Suhaib. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.